What exactly happened to Khalil Azad? The young man's death last July has raised questions by activist groups who are now demanding answers. The Robbinsdale Police Department has requested an outside review by the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to review the case of Khalil Azad. Jason Malello has more on the story, the allegations, and where the investigation could go from here.
Police say Khalil Azad crashed here in the 3900 block of Lakeland Avenue North last July after officers tried to pull him over for suspected drunk driving. Police say Azad then fled on foot, and despite a search by several law enforcement agencies, officers claim they never saw him again. 2 days later, Azad's body was spotted by a passerby along the shoreline of Crystal Lake. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office later ruled the death was an accidental drowning. But a spokesperson for Black Lives Matter says the family doesn't believe he drowned.
According to his family, he was a proficient swimmer and he was 6'1", so that's why they don't really believe that. The family doesn't believe that he drowned in 2 feet of water or that he drowned in the lake.
According to Black Lives Matter, Azad's family believes he was brutally beaten and bitten by dogs. They claim post-mortem photos show signs of bruises and bite marks. The family is calling for an outside death investigation and outside review of the cause of death. Robbinsdale Police Chief Patrick Foley released a statement on Friday in response to the claims, saying, quote, "This past week we have received inquiries with regards to the cause of death of Mr. Azad. This has fueled many questions from the community. Although a thorough investigation was completed last year, in an effort of transparency, we support an independent agency to review all relevant evidence, reports, and information regarding this incident." Azad's family also wants Robbinsdale Police to release body cam and dash cam video, and Robbinsdale Police say they will do that soon. In Robbinsdale, Jason Malillo, CCX News.
On Wednesday, community activists are planning to hold a rally at the Robbinsdale Police Station in support of Khalil Azad and his family. Plymouth police are asking for the public's help in finding the person or persons responsible for shooting and killing a man over the weekend. CCX reporter Jenna Globe has more.
A man was shot to death inside this Plymouth residence just before 11 p.m. Saturday night. Officers were called to the home on the 5800 block of Oakview Lane North, where they found a man inside with gunshot wounds. First aid was administered, but the victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Neighbors say canine units were on the ground and a helicopter and drone circled the area for several hours after the shooting. Police were still on the scene Sunday. So far, no arrests have been made. Neighbors say the home is used as a short-term rental. Plymouth police are asking anyone with information to call their tip line. For CCX News, this is Jenna Globe.
Several local organizations were at the state capitol today rallying to protect the future of E-Pulltabs. Reporter Delane Cleveland went to St. Paul and filed this story.
Shannon, electronic pull tabs are an important revenue source for nonprofits in youth sports. But there's a possibility that E-Pulltabs could be scaled back. If that happens, it could cut into revenues, and there's a group of people who are hoping to prevent that from happening.
E-Tabs now account for 30 to 40% of our monthly net receipts. That amounts to an additional $6,000 to $8,000 a month to our bottom line that we have to offer further support to those in need.
Alan Lund of the Osseo Maple Grove American Legion was part of a group at the Capitol of various American Legions and organizations that benefit from charitable gambling that made a plea to state lawmakers not to scale back electronic pull tabs. E-Pulltabs were first introduced in 2012 as a way to finance construction of U.S. Bank Stadium. Since then, they've grown in popularity, generating $1.9 billion in 2022, according to Allied Charities of Minnesota.
You reduce that by 40 to 70%, how many jobs are going to be lost? How many services are going to be lost? How many organizations are going to go under?
A recent ruling by the Minnesota Court of Appeals found that the Minnesota Gaming Control Board, which makes the rules on E-Pulltabs, improperly allowed a feature that makes the games look too similar to slot machines, when they should look more like a pull tab on a screen.
So the games as they stand today would be illegal and would need to be rolled back at that point, because that would be a very big deviation from how the current games look now.
While there is currently no bill at the Capitol to scale back E-Pulltabs, this group is trying to be proactive and prevent any changes to these games.
E-tabs are crucial for the many small charitable gambling operations in their missions to help their communities.
At the Capitol, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
The process to build a light rail transit route through the Northwest Metro continues. You can learn more about the recommended route and station locations at several upcoming meetings. Robbinsdale's Elam Lutheran Church will be the site of a meeting tonight, Monday, from 5 until 7. The current recommended route will go down County Road 81 from North Memorial Health Hospital through Robbinsdale and Crystal and into Brooklyn Park. If you missed that meeting, there are 2 more scheduled to be held in Minneapolis in March and April, and then there are virtual community meetings coming up at the end of March and in May. For more information, you can visit the Blue Line Extension Project website. Pickleball players could soon have access to a few new courts. This week, the Brooklyn Park Planning Commission will take a look at a new business called Pickle in the Middle. It would be located in a building just north of Highway 694 and not far from CCX Media Studios. The 24,000 square foot facility would have 5 pickleball courts that would be open to the public between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. Currently, the industrial space is empty.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The Breck boys swimming team won its 7th straight Class A state title over the weekend. Jason Malillo has highlights from the state meet.
The state Class A boys swim and dive finals at the U of M. Breck Blake swims the gold right out of the gate as the relay team of Jack Schertz Ford, Charlie Eglin, Nam Trong, and Caden Lau win with a time of 138.14. Breck Blake sophomore Henry Webb follows that up with a victory in the 200-yard freestyle. His time is 138.14. Bearstang senior Eglin wins the 200 individual medley with a time of 148.08. In the 100-yard freestyle, teammates Webb and Schertz Ford battle for the wall, and it's Schertz Ford touching home first for gold with a winning time of 44.85. In the 500 freestyle, Breck Blake's Josiah March wins and sets a new Class A record with a time of 434.39. In the 100 backstroke, it's another win for Schertz Ford as he swims to first place with a time of 49.78. 100 breaststroke, Breck Blake's Eglin set a new state record in the prelims with a 53.53. He doesn't swim as fast in the finals, but still fast enough to win the race. And the Bearstangs are state champions for the 7th year in a row.
It has a lot to do with the coaches. We have amazing coaches. They give us really tough sets in practice, and we work really hard on them. And also, the culture of this team, I think, is just unmatched. I mean, literally everyone on this team, good friends with each other. We always push each other to work harder in practice. And when we work as hard as we do in practice, it makes it easy for us to go out and swim fast like we did now.
The state wrestling tournament wrapped up Saturday night as champions were crowned. 2 local wrestlers made it to the finals, and a few others were place winners. Jay Wilcox has the details.
Final round action from State Class 3A individual wrestling, starting with 3rd and 5th place matches. 113-pound 3rd place match in blue, Wayzata's Luke Coonan with a fireman's carry scores 2 on the takedown. He beats Brandon Board of Andover 3-2. Charlie Pettit of Wayzata also takes 3rd at 152. 5th place at 160, Patrick Kubisa of Hopkins rolls through to score a reversal, but he loses 9-8 to Aiden Erickson of Hastings. On to championship matches with 2 Wayzata entrants. Logan Swenson gets up and out for an escape to tie the 126-pound final 1-1. It goes multiple overtimes, and in the ultimate tiebreaker, Alan Kaler of Prior Lake is able to get up for the escape as he wins his 3rd state title 2-1. Swenson settles for 2nd. Adam Cherney's 170-pound final also goes to overtime. Lake Conference rival Marco Christensen gets the takedown to hand Cherney a 4-2 loss as Christensen wins his 2nd state title. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Section finals in girls basketball are coming up later this week. 2 local schools met up in one section semifinal in Class 4A. Wayzata seeded second in the 6-4A girls tournament, hosting number 3 seed Cooper. Wayzata senior guard Grace Weber knocks down an early three-pointer, giving the Trojans an early 5-point lead. Cooper's Soma Kamara starts right, then cuts nicely back left, drives, draws contact, and scores. Kamara with 9 points in the game. Hawks trail 26-20. Still in the first half, Kate Amelot passes to Shannon Ford-Shell. Back to a cutting Amelot who scores on a reverse layup. She nets 12 points in the game. Trojans lead 39-25 at halftime. Second half, the lob pass goes in to Ford-Shell. A big game for her. She scores 2 of her 19 here, and the Trojans build a 20-point lead. But the Hawks make a run. Zayera Turner-Stensrud hits a three-pointer, and Cooper's back to within 9. Wayzata, though, holds and expands its lead again. Sophie Hawkinson with a three-pointer. She's one of 4 Trojans players to score in double figures. Wayzata goes on to win 75-48. They are now 23-4 in the season and play at top-seeded Hopkins Thursday for the Section 6 4A title. In Plymouth, John Jacobson, CCX Sports.